What's up everybody, my name is Takuma Matsui. I'm a producer and instructor here at 343 Labs in New York City. Today we're going to be talking about layering sounds. I wanted to make this video to tackle a practical issue that a lot of producers faced, which is increasing track count and navigating sound selection. This video specifically will focus on creating a pad sound, one with thickness and complexity, walking through my thought process on how I layer my sounds together. Let's get started. I'm starting out here with a chord progression. Let's check it out. This gets me in the ballpark in terms of laying down the harmony, but it's a little bit one-dimensional. Let's see if I can layer this with a contrasting sound. I'm starting out here with a synthesizer sound, so I'm going to see if I can pair this with something a little bit more organic. I have a one-shot of a hum, and I'm going to use this sound as a starting point for my contrasting sound. Let's load up a new MIDI track, Shift-Command-T, and I'm going to drag this sample down here to create a simpler instrument. Let's copy the MIDI clip by holding Option, clicking and dragging. And here's the new sound in solo. Let's tailor this sound so that it fits better with what I have. I'm going to loop the sample, increase the crossfade, and bump up my attack and release time so that it feels more like a pad. Let's call this humming. Let's flip into session view, start with my faders down, and I'm going to creep this sound into the original sound that I have. I really like what I have here so far, and if there's a hard and fast rule to layering, it's that we want to pick sounds that are contrasting to the sounds that we already have. Contrasting layers means that your overall sound is less likely to be muddy, and each layer in your sound is going to be contributing to a specific role that adds to the character of the sound. With that said, let's add in a third layer. I want my third sound to be a pedal, a single sustained note that sits at the very top or at the very bottom of a chord progression. So we have a few options here. I can pick something like a synth lead to tilt this sound back into the synth side of things, or I can pick something a little bit more organic. For my personal taste, I'm a sucker for organic sounds, so here's a string sample. Let's again create a MIDI track, load the string sample in, and again let's loop the sample, increase the fade, and adjust my envelope. I'm going to create a long MIDI clip by selecting and pressing Shift-Command-M. Pedals work really nicely with the tonic note or the note of the key that you're in. Mine is D flat. Or the 5th scale degree, in my case an A flat. I think I'm going to do A flat. And let's flip back to session view and creep the sound back in. Cool. Let's call this string pedal. So far, all of our layers have been long, sustained sounds, and I want the next couple of layers to contrast all of that by adding a little bit of motion. To do this, I'm going to create an arpeggiator layer. I'm going to balance the scale and use a synth sound for this. Here I have a synth flute sound. Let's drag in the MIDI chord down here and see how it sounds. I like the really noisy quality of this sound, as well as the short attack time that contrasts really nicely with all the other layers that we have. Let's add an arpeggiator in here. Command Option B to open the browser. Under MIDI effects, here's my arpeggiator. I'm going to change the style of the arpeggiator, and let's also speed up the rate just a bit. Let's open up the gate to get some of the release out. I'm going to also layer a real flute on top of this. Let's press Command G to group the instrument. Open up chain list. And I have here a flute sample. Let's click and drag this in. Adjust the tail. Change my envelope. And we can detune the second layer, maybe down an octave. A little bit of chorusing going on, it's kind of nice. Or maybe just down a perfect fourth. That's kind of nice. I'm gonna tuck the real flute just underneath the synth flute. I'm also going to enable transposition and bring the distance down to 12 semitones. And just to ease some of the arpeggiatorness of this entire layer, I'm going to add a delay. Head on down to Audio Effects. Here's Delay Loop. I'm going to use Echo. I'm going to unsync the delay. Maybe let's just keep it where it is. Adjust feedback and dry wet to taste. I want to add my fifth and my final layer, which will be the noise layer. Now the noise layer can be something like white noise or pink noise, but I have this beautiful recording of the beach. Let's check it out. I'm going to create a new MIDI track, Shift Command T. Let's drag in my ocean layer. I'm triggering this audio sample with a MIDI track because I want to keep all of these layers a little bit playable. Let's again create a new MIDI clip. Shift Command M. Let's add a long MIDI note. Adjust my envelopes. Let's adjust my beginning and end point. Head on back to Session View and creep this layer back in. Now that we have all of these layers, let's add a little bit of bus processing to glue it all together. I'm going to hold Shift and select all the tracks. Command G to group them. Let's call this pad. I'm going to start off with a little bit of distortion, maybe vinyl distortion. I'm also going to add auto filter. Let's automate this filter so that it opens up over time. Let's press A, select filter frequency, and maybe over 6 bars, we can open this up. Maybe a bit of glue compression, a fast attack, and a slow release. Just a little bit of gain reduction. And finally, a drop of convolution. I'm going to use hybrid reverb here. And here's the whole thing. So this is just one of many different outcomes I could have gotten in the process of layering sounds. Going through this process will teach you a lot about your sound as an artist and will also open up your ears to the different varieties of timbre. I hope you found some of the techniques and the thought processes to be useful in your own productions. The session file that I just created is available for download if you want to peek under the hood at what I just did. Thanks again for watching. My name is Takuma Matsui, here with 343 Labs in New York City. If you want to know more about our courses in New York, Berlin, or online, check us out at 343labs.com. See you again next time.